Welcome to another instalment of the Carp Fix session film, and you're joining me at Elson's fishery on the Stanwick complex. Now, it's a lake that I've never been to before. It's roughly 6-7 acres in size. On the website it says there's 165 carp or more, most of which are over 20 pound, 20 known 30s at all times of year and 5 40s. So yeah, a decent stock. And from first impressions, it looks relatively shallow. The water is pretty clear. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning. We've seen a few cruising on the top, but yeah, I want to walk around, sort of get my bearings and whatnot. But one really interesting thing the bailiff in the shop told us before we started walking around was, don't bother plumbing for clear spots because there are none. So that's a really interesting piece of info. So, you know, it could be very easy to go into a swim, see fish, start leading around, looking for that hero spot, gravel spot, or whatever it may be, not be able to find it, and end up thrashing the swim to a foam in looking for that spot. So just looking at the weed on the bottom, which is this sort of like fluffy, sort of candy floss like weed, it really screams sort of chodrig fishing. Naked chods will probably be my choice. Pop-ups and boilie fishing, so no spomming, catapult sort of tactics, but that's what my first impressions are after being here 5 or 10 minutes. We'll have a little wander around, see where the fish are, see where we can fit in, and we'll take it from there. They're not there, lad. Lovely spots though. You can see they've been in there. Had a little walk around the complex, guided by Ash. He's been here a few times before, shown me the other lakes that are on site, and there looks to be sort of lots and lots of sort of stalking opportunities on the other lakes. Now, that said, Elson's is the big fish venue on the complex, the one with the 40 pounders, and the first swim that we stopped in, there was a lot of fish on the surface to the right. There's a bit of a corner. We literally just missed out on that swim. Another angler's gone in there, but I put my water bottle in this peg here, and we've come back from the walk round, and they're getting right in front of the swim, really close in, sort of, well, I say really close in, like 10 yards, 20 yards, cruising around on the surface. Now, at the moment, they look like they'd be well up for a mixer, but first of all, I've forgotten the floater kit, which is a schoolboy error. And secondly, the seagulls are an absolute nightmare by all accounts. So while the fish are on the top, I think the chances of catching are pretty slim, I think. And I think the tactic's going to be just to try and watch the lines that they're cruising through the swim, sort of keep an eye on what distances and what lines they're moving through, and then fish with naked shods and just straight boilie tactics. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think just keep my eye on what they're doing and just pick lines, pick distances, no clips, just complete freestyle, and pull out some bait and take it from there. It seems too good to be true, as in like too easy, and could very easily be waking up tomorrow morning having not caught anything. But at the moment, that's the vibe I'm getting, that yeah, minimal sort of slick chod fishing. And yeah, mate, that's probably the nicest Banksic execution of my life. A little bit of different techers than you would have seen me usually use, and this is a naked chod rig. The top bead I've got set at 18 inches and the bottom one at 6 inches. Now, I've tested it in the edge, and it sits lovely on top of the weed. The pop-up section is roughly 2 inches, 2.5 inches in length, and obviously when I cast that out, that chod rig is going to slide to that top bead, and it's important to sort of feel it down like following it with the rod rather than drawing the lead back towards you. What I want is the pop up to stay up by that top bead rather than be forced back down to the bottom bead. But as long as I get some form of drop out there, that'll be fishing and it'll be visible, and that's what I want. What are you fishing towards? Fishing towards the fox underwater then. I love that I haven't got a marker up. I fucking love that. And rap sticks as well. It's all like so time consuming, isn't it? It's like, but because when you find a spot, you've got to cast across it 3 or 4 times to make sure it is where it is, and you know where the edges of it are, and make your adjustments and stuff. And then you go around your sticks with your marker rod, and then you go around a fishing rod, then the fucking spawn rod. It's like this. I fucking hate it. As I would say, nausea fucking wood. Right, rods have been in 20 minutes and the coots are diving on me relentlessly. I only managed to put a couple of pouchfuls over one of the 2 rods and I'm already regretting it. It's obviously the heat of the day, the fish are on the surface, and to think that I'm going to keep those chods in position long enough without the birds touching them, I think is I think that's wishful thinking. By the time it cools down enough that I think there's a chance of a fish dropping on one of them, although they'll have needed recasting. But I'm thinking I might tie up a couple of zigs because I'm not so worried about the birds picking them up, and with the fish higher in the water that might be a much better course of action. But just going to keep my eyes on the water, see what the fish are doing, see what these birds are doing. But yeah, already my first line of attack is looking like it's not the one, certainly not the one at this minute in time. Well, this is supposed to be a little evening update about the progress of this session, and at this moment in time there is very little to report. Not so many fish cruising around on the top, haven't seen any for a while, so they've obviously dropped a little bit deeper, but I just spoke to Lee Moss Morris, and he said that every morning that he's been here, the fish have been on the top from the absolute get-go as soon as it got light. So on one hand I was considering dropping the depth of my zigs, but at the same time, having heard that, I'm thinking maybe I should just stick it out and keep them tall. So that's what I'm going to do. They're out there, one's 5 foot, one's 6 foot, and yeah, it's looking bleak, but that can change in an instant. You know, the fish could be out there all around those zigs for all I know, and I could just get a bite at any second, or in the middle of the night or tomorrow morning. But if we don't catch through the night or tomorrow morning, I think I'm going to be on my toes. I think there's a lot of lakes on this complex with a lot of fish in, and I think I just feel that there's daytime stalking opportunities all around this complex, and I think I'd be a little bit, I don't know, stubborn just to sit here and try and grind it out if nothing's going on. But you never know, we might get one yet, and we'll see you either in the night or tomorrow morning. was that? Sounded like Bosh out it was. Under the old Stephen. Well, a very quiet night over on Elson's. Did see a few fish jumping this morning, but not in the area of the lake where I was. Now, with so many lovely lakes on the complex, I thought, I'm not on them here. I want to move, fancy doing a little bit of stalking. So we've moved over to Mallard Lake. Now, yesterday when we walked round, we saw a few fish in the edge just to the left of the swim that I'm sat in. So we've come round here, put a naked chod rig, like underarmed as far left as we can. It's quite a sort of awkward little cast, only a few rod lengths up down the edge. It's a little bit deeper than I'd like it because obviously I can't get right round the margin, but I've gone in through a little hole in the bush. It's like a little tunnel in there, and you go out to this old rickety old jetty of an old swim, a few handfuls of 10mm essential cell, and that rod is like really nicely sort of tucked up round there, like, and I fancy that one to go quickly, really. But on top of that, there's quite a few fish showing out in the open water, and I've just cast a single naked chod out to one that I've seen jump, and yeah, I think we'll give it the morning here, see what happens. Quite hopeful, and potentially move for another stalking opportunity somewhere else throughout the day, but look to get back onto Elson's for the night to try and get over there, because obviously that's the big fish venue on the site. I want to be sitting there behind rods in the dark when I'm asleep, and yeah, having seen what I saw there sort of yesterday and this morning, I've got half an idea of what I want to do. But yeah, let's try and catch a couple of fish today, and then we'll see how it goes. Right then, well, nothing has happened here, and the sun's come out and it's looking a little bit bleak. But that said, where I'm trying to cast to, it cuts back and you can't actually reach it from the swim, which, you know, if you've got areas like that, the fish naturally know where they feel safe. And I've been in a little hole in the bush around there, and there's a lovely little margin spot, and I think it's what it's worth doing is reeling these two in, going in the bush, dropping a single rod down, handful of bait, and just sit on the floor and see if we can nick one like that. There's about 10 of them. Oh, he's just taking it. Has he?